Hey, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about something that might just fundamentally change how you approach storytelling. It's this powerful little shift in mindset, moving away from being a creator who dictates every little thing to becoming an observer who actually discovers the story. Sounds cool, right? Let's dive in. Okay, before we get into the nitty-gritty of writing, let's just start with a really big human question. It's something that's at the core of, well, every story we tell, and pretty much every relationship we have. Think about it. Is it really possible to get inside someone else's head and completely, 100% understand them? And that very question leads us perfectly into our first topic, the maze of human relationships. Because let's be real, figuring other people out is probably our greatest challenge. We're going to look at why it's this double-edged sword, something that helps us grow, but can also feel like a massive weight on our shoulders. I mean, think about it. Our whole lives are basically a big, complicated web of connections to other people, right? These relationships, they totally shape who we become. They push us, they help us grow, but, and this is a big but, they can also be a really heavy burden. So the real question is, why? Why is that? Well, it really comes down to this idea of the relationship burden. What is that? It's that constant stress you feel, that pressure to perfectly understand another person. You're trying to figure out all their motivations, their hidden feelings, every single thought. And honestly, it's completely exhausting. It's a task that's basically designed for failure. But here's the twist, and this is where it gets really interesting. There's actually a huge sense of relief when you just accept that it's impossible. I mean, think about it for a second. Most of us don't even fully understand ourselves half the time, right? So how on earth can we expect to have a complete blueprint of someone else? Just letting go of that expectation, that's the first step to lifting that weight. Okay, so this whole idea brings us right into the world of writing, because this universal human problem, it sets up a very specific trap that so many of us fall into. We're talking about the danger of playing the omniscient, all-knowing creator. So what's the mistake? Well, a lot of writers fall into this trap of basically playing God with their characters. We think we're supposed to know everything. We decide what they're thinking. We dictate how they're feeling. We act like we have this all-access pass to their innermost thoughts. We assume we know them completely. And what's the result of that? Well, the story starts to feel wrong. The source material uses a great word for it. It says the story begins to creak. You know that feeling? It just feels clunky and forced and totally unnatural. Your characters suddenly feel like puppets on a string, and you, the writer, can literally feel the whole thing starting to wobble and fall apart. And it's all because it's built on this false idea that you have total control and total knowledge. So this really shows us the two different paths you can take as a writer. On one side, you have the omniscient creator. This is the writer who decides everything, claims to know every inner thought, and what do they get? A predictable story. But on the other side, you have the meticulous observer. This writer accepts what the character does, they interpret the emotions they can see, and the result? They get to discover a story that feels truly alive and is often surprising. Which brings us to the solution, the real key to all of this, the power of observation. This is all about making that simple, but honestly profound shift. You stop dictating what your characters are supposed to be, and you start discovering who they actually are. See, the fix isn't about trying to know more about your character or cramming more backstory and facts into their head. No, the real answer is to just step back and watch. Really pay close attention to what your character is actually doing on the page. Your job isn't to be a mind reader. Your job is to be the best possible witness to their story. So you're probably asking, okay, great, but how do I actually do that? Well, it really breaks down into two pretty simple steps. Step one is accept. Whatever actions, whatever emotions your character is showing you on the page, just accept them as they are. Don't judge them, don't try to change them. And then step two is connect. You take those things you've observed, those truths, and you use them to push the story forward, to keep it flowing naturally. Now, when you really embrace this mindset, you set yourself on a whole new path for creation. And honestly, this is where things get really exciting. It's the moment your characters stop feeling like things you've just made up, and they start feeling like real, living, breathing people. And the benefits of taking this path? They're huge. First off, your characters start to feel so much more authentic, so much more real. You can't fake that. And here's the best part. The story starts to surprise you. It takes turns you didn't expect, which is one of the most incredible feelings as a writer. That plunky, creaking feeling we talked about? Gone. It's replaced by this smooth and natural flow. And maybe most importantly, You're finally free from that impossible pressure of having to know everything all the time. It really all boils down to this one powerful idea from the source. The writer must simply accept the character's various actions and emotions and proceed with the story. It's so simple, right? It's really just a call for trust. Trust in what your characters are showing you. Accept it and use it to keep the story going. For any writer out there, that is such a powerful release from all that creative anxiety. So I want to leave you with this question to take back to your own writing. The next time you sit down to work, try to stop telling your characters who they are. Instead, just take a breath, step back, and watch them closely. And then ask yourself this one simple thing. What are my characters showing me right now? Because the answer to that question, that might just be the real story you were meant to tell all along.